Hey, this is Brian Grella of Garage Woodworks, and this is my first project video of 2017. And for that, I decided to make a bed. So this will be the first part of a multi-part series of a bed build. And I let the good folks know at Lisa that I was going to make a bed, and they were willing to send me a mattress at no cost to me to try out and let you guys know what I thought of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is unbox this guy. So after I removed the mattress from the bag, it inflated with air and now it's ready to go. Really pretty cool how they can fit a mattress inside this little box. So before I finalize my bed design, I wanted to take a couple measurements from the mattress. Lisa.com has the dimensions on their website if you want to go directly with those. But just to make sure, I'm going to measure the mattress as well. These boards that I just cut the rough length at the table saw and also using the circular saw are going to make up the posts of the bed frame. Now the next thing I need to do is make one edge nice and flat at the joiner. Then I'll take them over to the bandsaw and cut them to rough width. The goal at the joiner was not to get anything square, but just to make one nice and flat face that I can reference my marking gauge off of. Now with my marking gauge, I'm going to scribe a line for the width of the leg, and I'm going to make it oversized, and I'll fine tune the final width later. At the joiner, I'm going to make sure that I have one face nice and flat, and then I'm going to square one adjoining edge nice and square to that face. Just like the longer headboard posts, I need to do the same thing to the footboard posts by flattening one face and then squaring one adjacent face. I have a really nice wide piece of mahogany that I'm going to use for the footboard rail and the lower rail and the headboard. So the first thing I need to do is cut off a section of this, and then at the table saw, I'll rip it in half. Before I can rip this huge slab at the table saw, I need to make sure I have one edge nice and flat that I'll be able to reference off of the table saw rip fence. And I'm going to do that at the joiner. The next two pieces I'm going to work on are the two rails and the headboard that go above and below the panels. And for that, I'm going to use some more 8/4 mahogany. Just like before, these two boards are going to get edge jointed on one side to create a nice flat reference, and then I'll rip them to rough width at the table saw. With all these boards that are going to be used for the footboard and headboard for the rails, cut to rough length and rough width, I need to flatten one face at the joiner and then plane them to thickness. So that I know that I end up hitting the entire face of the board at the joiner, I'm going to use a pencil and make marks all the way down the length of the board. Because this board has a little bit of a warp to it, the joiner only touched it at the leading edge of the board and at the tailing edge of the board. And because of the pencil marks, I know exactly where it didn't hit. So this board's going to need a few more passes at the joiner to get it perfectly flat. Now that I have all the rails dimensioned to thickness and one face nice and flat, I'm going to edge joint one edge and then rip them to their final width. Now that I've got all the rails to thickness and to width, I need to cut them to length. So I'm going to square one end first, and then I'll cut them to their final length on the other side. Other than the panels and the headboard, there's only one more piece that I need to make, and that's the center panel divider in the headboard, or stile, I guess is what it's called if you want to use the correct term. And I'm going to make that next. After dimensioning this center stile to thickness and rough width, I squared one edge at the joiner. Now I'll just rip it to its final width. I still need to cut all four posts to their final length, and I'm going to do that now. I'm going to stop part one here for my bed build series, and I definitely hope you guys enjoyed it, and I also hope you come back for part two. Next time I hope to have the joinery completed, and I also hope to have the panels completed. So please come back and check it out, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, guys.